What's up, Cowboys fans? D. Elliott here, letting you know my memorabilia collection is available on Fanatics.com. Check it out.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. I just have a question today on Turkey Day. How much is this Dallas Cowboys running back tandem gonna eat today on Turkey Day?
I'd say a lot. I say they're going to get fat. I say we're going to have a couple fat-ass running backs at the end of the day.
I don't know if you let the haters tell it, boy. You know, there's a whole bunch of fan bases in the NFL wishing upon the Dallas Cowboys' demise today on Turkey Day. And the numbers aren't that favorable. We're going to talk about that today. Are they lopsided or not? There's some key players out for the Giants here today as we talk about the pregame keys to victory today on Turkey Day as the Cowboys play in the middle game in about an hour and a half. It's high noon right now on the West Coast. Happy Thanksgiving, Bob. How you doing down there, baby?
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We're good. We had a little bit of snow this morning, so it's a little bit of a cool Thanksgiving. It very rarely snows out here on Christmas, so we'll take it on any holiday, and it's good. It's good. We're doing good. We had a couple people out of 6 people, 2 people canceled, so we still got enough grub for 4 of us. We should be okay. So my wife's doing what she's got to do. But, yeah, man, it's great. Spirits are up. We're excited. It's Cowboys Thanksgiving, man. I got the throwback Irvin on because I felt the spirit this morning. I know I've been rolling with my Parsons jersey, but it's all about throwback Thanksgiving today. So.
But you see, you know, we vibe alike, baby. You had the Parsons today. You know, I'm rolling with the Tank. You know, Parsons and Tank have been kind of questionable, but they're scheduled to suit up here today. So have no fear. The Tank and the Lion is going to be near today as we talk about the keys to victory. But let's give some shout outs today. Let's say happy Thanksgiving to those viewers here in our audience today. We want to hear from y'all. Make sure you tap in and let us know where you're watching from. And if you like, share the menu. What you got on the menu out there today, baby? Happy Thanksgiving to folks. And of course, we can't ever go a show without Facebook user tapping in, Bob.
Facebook user, good to see you as always. Checking in on time. B Red in the house too. What's up, B Red?
Yeah, definitely. King Sharon is in the building. Appreciate that. Congratulations to my man, Mike Bear. I don't see him on here yet. Usually King Sharon is winning up all of the free stuff, you know, and I got another set of mittens and a scarf here today. As y'all seen the Fanatics intro, Ezekiel Elliott coming in on that. Y'all know I'm a Fanatics affiliate and I'm affiliated. I got my scarf here. So we can get a star party started here on the pregame show today. We'll give away another set of mittens and a scarf. But congratulations to Mike Bear, who won it on the pregame show for the pregame.
Congrats.
Brandon looks like he already ate, man. I seen his photo out there, Bob. He was frying turkey in the rain. He had a canopy up and everything. Did you see that?
No, I did not see that. I've been locked in my own world. I apologize, but it does not surprise me that B-Red is out at the crack of dawn playing with the Roosters and getting that damn turkey fried up. It does not surprise me. Congratulations. You got it out of the way. Now it's just time to get comatose and watch the Cowboys.
Right on. We see you. Appreciate you tapping in today. Sydney looks like a brand new viewer. Checking in from Owensboro, Kentucky. That's a new one. We're not many folks out of Kentucky. Shout out to Sydney, man, from Kentucky. Heard they got a good college basketball program out there somewhere.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I don't know much about college ball, and I know enough about the Kentucky Wildcats for sure.
Ooh, 22-19. That's a tap in right there. I told you that'd be a wild upset if we could get the Lions to upset the Buffalo Bills on Turkey Day. Thanks for the live tap in, Mark.
Unfortunately, I saw Von Miller get carted off. That sucks. That really sucks to see. You know, you want to be able to compete with the highest competitors when you're playing. That always sucks. He's a veteran. Hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, definitely don't want to see that time of year. That's why I said, you know, Eagles fans think they, you know, their stuff don't stink. You know what I mean? But guess what? You might just be peaking a little too early because those 4 opponents are not just the Cowboys opponents that I talk about here today as we get into these keys to victory today. Y'all know they have not changed. The menu has not changed even on Turkey Day when it comes to BG's pregame keys to victory, man. First thing is we got to stop the run, just like we did against Minnesota last week when we held them under 100 rushing yards. Can the Dallas Cowboys go into a high-profile division game here on national television and, you know, shut down this Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones running game? Bob, how do you feel about that?
I think we can. If we go back to the tape, and I've actually watched that Giants game that they're airing right now on NFL Network, from week 3. I watched it a few times, and I mean, I'll be damned if that wasn't one of the games where we said we really need to do something about the run game, because it wasn't so much Barkley. He ripped off a good one on us, but Daniel Jones just kept gashing us for like 12-yard carries up the middle every time. And even when I knew it was a design draw, it didn't seem to alert the Cowboys defense. So I don't know. I'm hoping today's different. I'm hoping that since we had such a ruckus ass game against the Vikings, and since it was a short week, we don't have a lot of time to rest and get lazy. And I hope we come out with that same fire and intensity, because we're going to need to do it. Yeah, we're going to need to do it in order to close it. And I think Tack McKinley is starting today, which is another good defensive addition on that line.
Definitely. As we talk about this Giants and this run game, you know how I do, baby. I go to statmuse.com, man, to check out all of the stats, especially around the haters, because, you know, they like to keep record, you know, but we keep record here at StatMuse. So check out the Giants, baby. You know, look at this setup that they got here, you know, still rushing 157 yards per game. That's 4th in the NFL. You know, there's a reason why this team is 7-3, just like the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I think they've got some key players out on their offensive line today, which I think is really going to matter. And the fact that we beat them in a week 3 matchup. Oh, by the way, wasn't that what the backup quarterback we had at the time?
That was with Coop just sort of managing the game and making some pretty damn good throws, honestly. So yeah, that was a crazy one to watch.
They're allowing at least 20 points a game. I believe we scored over 20 points on them. I think we held them under 20 points, but Saquon Barkley did get some yards on us, and so did Daniel Jones. Let's just take a look at that game in Dallas. They got that stat there. No, that's just us in general. So as we flip over to the Cowboys, as we talk about the run game, but how about that run game with the Dallas Cowboys as we talk about stopping the damn run? How about continuing to run the damn ball with Kellen Moore? We're going to see more of some eaten by Zeke and TP today on Turkey Day.
Yeah, we damn sure are going to see a double dose of some legs, man, for sure. It's going to be, you know, I don't expect today's game to be much different in terms of game plan and preparation as the Minnesota game. So I expect maybe not the same results, because the Giants have a better defense, I think, than Minnesota does. But I believe it'll still be a good victory for us, but a tough one battle. I don't know. It's tough to call the spread today because it's a division game on Thanksgiving. Who the hell knows?
Right, and especially as you know. On Turkey Day, the Dallas Cowboys, actually, I think our record against the Giants in the last 11 games, we're 10-1 against the Giants. So it sounds pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
I think, wow, you know, we kind of own the Giants. If that's the case, you know, Dak Daddy is back in the house. It's the first time this Giants team is going to see Dak Prescott. So I'm going to be curious to see what kind of offense we see. Are we going to still continue to run the ball or not? I think as much as we're going to need to stop the run with Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley back there with that 4th-ranked rushing offense in the NFL, you know, we're going to have to continue to show some consistency today with some discipline on stopping the run, keeping them under 100 yards. I think it's imperative we hold them under another 100-yard game rushing. Their passing game is blah, so to speak. And the Dallas Cowboys should leave no room for error, especially when it comes to discipline and the referees, because we're 4-7, actually, on the last 11 Turkey days.
Yep.
In case y'all didn't remember what happened last year with the Oakland Raiders.
Oh, that was a tough one. Great return for Tony Pollard, but yeah, that was a shitty loss.
Yeah, it was. I got PTSD from that. I mean, that was the 2 most penalized teams in the league last season was the Dallas Cowboys and the Oakland Raiders, or LA, Las Vegas, wherever city they're from. I don't know. I can't even keep up. Their quarterback cries up there on the podium. You know, I understand he got feelings too. But, you know, I got PTSD from that game last. And how do you know, or how do you feel about this game knowing going into today we're 4-7 actually on Turkey Day in the last 11 Turkey Day games?
You know, again, those statistics can mean something or they can mean nothing. You know, it's really, does this defense match up against the current offense of the New York Giants? And I think we're winning on that one. I mean, they've got a great run game and they've got the ability to have Daniel Jones be an extension of that, but they've gotten rid of Kadarius Toney. Their rookie, I believe, is done for the season with a tear, ACL possibly. I just don't know. Besides Saquon Barkley, I mean, we got to rattle off the weapons that are gonna hurt the Cowboys today. And
I mean, they got rid of that one guy named Kadarius Toney that went to the Chiefs. I don't know.
Yep.
The Chiefs are saying, how did they even let this guy get out of the locker room? So I don't know what is Dayball doing over there, but they got something figured out because they're 7-3. Now, granted, we slated them in the game on the week 3 matchup. You know, we already annihilated them. We got to handle business here today in the NFC East because all games matter in the NFC East today. We can't afford to be 4-8. We need to be 5-7 today on Turkey Day as we come out here glorious. We got to do just like what Micah did coming into the Minnesota game last week. Like I said, come in just 4 days ago, pop them in the mouth early and set the tone.
Yeah, the edges are really going to set the tone again today. So if it turns out, and again, it's not going to be like Kirk Cousins because we talked about that last week. Kirk Cousins, when you touch him, he crumbles. Daniel Jones doesn't do that. So really, when we're talking about flushing him out of the pocket, we've also got to have the ability for these linebackers to chase him down and finish that play, as opposed to letting him just scramble for 12, 13 yards. And I was like he did in week 3. We might not have been healthy at the time. We might not have, some people out, whatever, this, that, and the other thing. But I think today is the focus is definitely keeping that run game because I don't think they can beat us anywhere else.
Speaking of the run game, Mr. Run the Damn Ball himself has tapped in. We got West Coast Cowboy on the show with us today, tapping in. Appreciate you tapping in. That's my Cowboy cousin right there. We go back, baby. I think all 3 kind of go back here, pre-2000s, if you ask me, I think, But, hey, we're not going to toot our own horn here today on Thanksgiving. Appreciate you, Top Dog, checking in right there. As we talk about these keys to the game, like I said, if we get on this team early, just like we did with Minnesota last week, we don't have to worry about the discipline so much against the referees. Because I said we got 4 opponents every week. And this goes for every NFL team. Every NFL team fights the injury bug. Every NFL team fights, Vegas odds. You can't forget about Vegas. They kind of know what they're doing out there. And you fight the referees. And then you got the opponent that you line up against every week. So we don't got time to be disciplined with the referees. And like last Thanksgiving, what happened with the Raiders, that's what I'm saying. Remember that game? They just kept targeting Anthony Brown, throwing it up and getting pass interference call.
That is what repeatedly terrifies me about Anthony Brown. We get 2 different versions of that guy. We get a guy who's decent and hardworking, and then we get a guy who falls apart. And we don't know which one he's going to show up. So I don't know. I think today is what nullifies those particular facts is the line and the edge getting to the quarterback. At that point, cornerbacks and safeties and wide receivers don't even matter anymore. Your quarterback's on their back. So that's what we need to focus on.
Speaking of that defense and lining up, Big Out, West Coast just said he shared the ball, shared the post here, so appreciate that. But he's also talked about that lining up Micah in the right place on the defensive end side more so than the linebacker side because he's eating out there on that defensive end side. As we talk about stopping this run and continuing to keep another NFL team under 100 rushing yards, I mean, they're 4th ranked in the league right now. There's a reason why that run game is going to get going. And can the Cowboys not allow them to run the damn ball against this defense? I think we take them out pretty often early. Maybe we get another Cooper Rush sighting against the Giants in an NFC matchup today.
Well, I think I can speak for a lot of Cowboys fans when I say that if there's anything that really disturbs us and pisses us off as Cowboy fans, it's the inconsistency of the team, knowing how well they can be on a consistent basis. For all intents and purposes, we should have had last week's Dallas Cowboys for at least the last 3 weeks. They should have been performing the way they performed last week. Why haven't they? I don't know, but that's definitely, as an old school Cowboys fan, something that really, really pisses me off, man. I don't know why we can't consistently. I'm not talking about consistent results because that doesn't happen all the time. I'm talking about the consistent effort and hustle and play calling and at times when they need to be called. It just seems inconsistent.
I got you, baby. And talking about that discipline, talking about, this team, Micah was, if you listen to the post-game interviews, we shared those here. We shared them on Instagram too as well. The post-game interviews from last week. And Zeke was talking about, Micah Parsons literally just willing this team to a win and putting him on his back early. And we talk about discipline. We talk about leadership. I think Micah might be trying to channel his inner Troy Aikman in case you haven't seen this video here. But you can get the photo.
Run down everybody's damn throat all the time. Why don't we have a...
You can get the picture here. Let me just try this again. Did that go away?
Hey, guys, that's a embarrassment out there.
It's Junior League.
Embarrassment. We can't block anybody off the Now we're hiking the ball early. Junior league. Somebody's got to get
Junior league.
attention. And I'll tell you, Jack, I am
It's right here.
tired of being a guy who's got to run down everybody's damn throat all the time. Why don't we have a coach who gets over there and does something about it? Instead, we want to go over and pat everybody on the ass, and they haven't done a job all night. Guys out there up, and nobody says anything about it. We got a head coach who won't say anything about it. We got coaches offensively who won't do anything about it. I mean, enough's enough. Babysitting's over.
You heard it. He said it right there. Fucking babysitting's over. I think that's the mentality of where Micah was at when he came out. He actually wore purple into Minnesota last week. Did you see that?
That's beautiful, man. Let me tell you, Troy had the offensive line within about 6 feet of earshot. Besides that time when he ran right up to them and yelled at them, he had them in earshot. That's why he kept looking a little bit. You can see as he was yelling all that shit. He wanted to make sure he yelled that directly at the line. And obviously, it was an FU to Switzer who he loved playing for in college and really respected as a coach, but was really, really pissed off that he just sat back and let the rest of his coaches do the job that he should be doing. So we won't see a quarterback like that ever again in the Dallas.
And I think that Green Bay loss was a good loss, and it was probably at the right time because it stung, and we've seen how the Cowboys responded in Minnesota. So now we know that most of our fan base, especially us diehards too, but the haters are going to say, can we consistently do that? So, against this NFC, East opponent here today with the New York Giants, they're pretty big time. They've been on some primetime games, They're 7-3 for a reason. Now, one of them losses came by way of the Dallas Cowboys. So Dallas has got to approach it like a 0-0 game. Not that we beat them already once in the conference. We got to just take them out early, man. Not even make it a question so we can eat some turkey after the game.
Yeah, in peace, without sweating it, no doubt. Maybe have seconds. You know what I mean? Definitely. The food tastes a lot better after a Cowboys win, especially on Thanksgiving, man.
Especially from last year, we can just push that, compartmentalize that traumatic of a moment last season that happened against the. I mean, we need to just eat and be merry. The Dallas Cowboys get 2 wins in a matter of a span of 4 or 5 days. That's literally about to happen today. But this defense has got to show up, pop them in the mouth early. So the keys to the game is just, can we stop the run? Are we going to continue to run the ball? And then lastly, this discipline. We need to get this game and put it away in the first half, just like we did against Minnesota. Didn't that feel good last week when we pretty much knew we had a good hold on the game going in at halftime?
Yeah, I think third quarter with 3 points still on the board from Minnesota, that's kind of when I knew, because it took another quarter after halftime for me to believe we actually are about to go shut this team down and out and skunk them, touchdown-wise. It was a great feeling, definitely 100%. I don't know what the game plan that they called was. I felt like it was almost the same thing that the same game plan called against Green Bay. We just did some dumb stuff, man, in Green Bay, man, which just seems to be something we do. Hopefully they've got the team prepared today, not for a Thanksgiving showdown, not for a historical battle on a Thanksgiving Day holiday. Hopefully they have the team ready for a division battle that needs to be won by the Cowboys today. That's all these kids need to know on this team. It's a division.
I'm glad you bring that up. You talk about getting ready, the leadership, getting this team ready, going into battle. Like we got a 3-game home span here with the Giants right now. Then we got the Colts, and then we got the Texans. If the Cowboys ever needed to get some momentum going after this Minnesota blowout of this 8-1 top receiver team in the league, Diggs shut them down 2 years. Dallas Cowboys shut down. They continue to win, shut down all the haters' narratives every week. We need to do that and knock down this Giants team, become prominent second here in the division. We got that game coming up on Christmas Eve with them stinking Eagles. I think that's going to tell the tale of this NFC East championship should the Dallas Cowboys handle business here today with the Giants.
Yeah, we can't overlook the relevance of today's game. As much as I think most of us can admit, the biggest NFC East rivalry is I'll say the Cowboys' biggest rival right now is the Eagles. So, considering that being the case, we are the same division, have the same division record. They've got 1 game on us. City's important. We've really got to do this. We got to do this to get in contention with Philly, because without overlooking New York, Philly is definitely going to be the team, I think, to beat.
What's key here is, I talked about this as we brought in NFC East Matters, here on Built Different Group. Shout out to all of the platforms we're live here today on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, all of the usual places here. But I talked about there's an important stat here in the NFC East. 17 years, there's not been a repeat champion in the NFC East. And it today don't have any importance. That's what I'm talking about. Leadership, as you talked about, having them ready. You know, Mike McCarthy and them, they didn't have us ready going into that wild card game with the 49ers last season.
Yeah.
You know, this is where we got to train to get ready. 3 home games stand. We got to come in 3-0 out of here. This got to start today. They got to finish this in the first half. There should be no statement. No other statements left to say after that. Cooper Rush back in the second half, baby. I mean, we can't see no close game getting down to the wire on Turkey Day, man. Can you just imagine what could happen?
Yeah, I know. We want it to be definitive like it was last week. And again, I really believe that as the days go by, like if this was a regular week and we had to wait another week before the Cowboys played, there's a chance that maybe that same momentum doesn't occur on our defense and offense. And maybe rest hurts us in this situation. So the short week, I think, gives me the hope that we're going to see closer to that Minnesota team, that kind of output than we did against Green Bay. I think we're going to see that team a little bit more because of such a short turnaround.
I can follow what you're putting down right there, Bob. You know, that would be great with that momentum, especially, you know, finishing off Minnesota essentially in that first half of that game. Can we just get it done in the first quarter of this game? You know, we need to run it up on Thanksgiving. We need to offset this 4-7 record. If you're just tapping in here today, we own the Giants out of the last 11 games. We're 10-1, but we're also 4-7 on Turkey Day games, which I don't like those odds. And I don't know, speaking of odds, what is the Dallas Cowboys? What's the odds line today in Vegas? Has anybody been paying attention to that?
I feel like it went to about Dallas being 9.5 points up or favorites in this one. I don't know.
If you're tapping in here, you've been paying attention to the Vegas odds, please let us know. What have they got the Dallas Cowboys favorite? I don't follow that kind of stuff, although we treat Vegas like an opponent, but I'm pretty sure they got the Dallas Cowboys favorite. I'm just curious to see. I mean, they had us 2.5 favorites going in to Minnesota. I'm curious of what they got us here at home today. Not that it should matter, but as we pay attention to the opponents, that's what leadership should do, is prepare so we don't get in those situations. Now, I'd like to see what Vegas has got us at so we can keep in line with hearing our 4 opponents every week.
Somebody's got to have it. Somebody's got to have it.
We'll get it here before we get out today. Let's get some more shout outs. We see that underlying conversation going on down there. Y'all keep it football here. You know, I love to rep your team. We love to rep our teams here, but let's keep it football. You know, Facebook does watch what you say. I've seen people kicked off and banned for Facebook for less around here. Y'all keep it football, please.
Shit, they banned me just for using the word seed on my Cannabis Cowboy page. They don't even play.
But Tigers definitely, I understand 100% what you mean, Bob. The point here. Let's see which Cowboys team shows up. That's what we're talking about. Is it going to be the same one that showed up against that first half against Minnesota? Hopefully it ain't going to be that one we seen in the first quarter against Green Bay. You know, at the end of that quarter was 0-0.
Yeah, that was weird, man. I don't know. I you know what the thing is? I think the faith that I have and the faith that I've always had since Dak got in to the league is if he makes a mistake or has a bad performance, it's the next week he always cleans that shit up. It's very rare that I've seen Dak make the same mistake 2 weeks in a row, let alone 3, 4, 5. I think the just the kind of guy that he is and the competitor he is, it doesn't allow him to have shitty games repeatedly, but it does allow him to have good games consecutively. So I think that the fact that the leader of our team is just so intelligent and so poised, I think that is going to lend a lot to our success today, besides the fact that, yes, we got to run the damn ball.
Yeah, for us parents out there, no, experience is the best teacher in life. And speaking of parents, you know, Dak is the father. You know, we've seen Cooper Rush take out the Giants in week 3. I'm curious to see, you know, can the Dallas continue to score over 30 points? This game against the Giants, if they've been on a hot streak with Dak back in the lineup, I think they're averaging over 30 points with Dak at the helm, baby.
Oh, I don't know, man. That last week was good, man. Again, I think it's real hard for me to get so hyped up and be so happy about that success, specifically because of what our commenters are saying here. We don't know who's going to show up. So, God, man, please let last week's team show up. That'd be badass.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing for us to be questioning as we go into the Giants visiting the Dallas Cowboys. If you've been paying attention, there's a little photo right down there. Me and Bob were talking about that guy with our quarterback right there. How many of y'all know who that is with Dak Prescott in that photo there. All my East Coast fans and maybe Giants fans silently watching here, I think they know who that is. Maybe some Cowboy fans. I know Bob and I know who it is. We talked about it on the pregame show, but I throw that out there. Who is that right down there below with Dak Prescott, baby? And what does his shirt say?
Yeah. Come on, y'all can do it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, that no huddle fast start that, you know, Michael Elliott's tapping here talking about. Shout out to Michael Elliott, baby. Yeah, I mean,
Good
playing
start. That's good stuff.
high tempo to our favor. You know, we've seen that a lot against Minnesota. You know, are we going to continue to see that team? I'm curious to see, are we going to see some consistency, Mike?
Yeah, I like that. I like that tempo thing. It screws me up when I'm trying to watch the game quick because I wind up fast forwarding in 15-second increments, but they're on the line. But yeah, it definitely tires out a defense. And I think that's probably the one of the main tricks we'll probably use on many different drives. We don't consistently do that, but when we do, it seems to work. And again, I think it's because Dak, you have to have a quarterback that can change that call on the line intelligently for those tempo drives to work. And I have nothing but faith that he can read it.
Yeah.
A lot of other quarterbacks couldn't get away with it.
This 3-game home stretch here, as you know, we face the Giants here, and then we got the Colts and then the Texans. So we definitely need to get some momentum because then we got the Jags. That's going to be in Jacksonville. Shout out to all them Dallas Cowboy fans out there in Jacksonville. And then that following Saturday is Christmas Eve. So the Dallas Cowboys handle business here with the Giants going into Christmas Eve. This could be the potential game to decide who's going to be the champion. Is Dallas going to be able to repeat and break that 17-year no repeat clause of the NFC East no repeat champion, or are the Eagles going to do the unthinkable? I don't think they can. They got a few games to face here as they come up on their stretch. I've heard their strength of schedule here is pretty tough for the Eagles. For anybody that's paying attention out there.
Yeah, you know, we're going to look forward here. I think after New York, we've got we've got the Colts,
the Texans,
and the Jags. And look, let's not giggity too hard. These dudes, they're all millionaire football players too. And then, you know, we've got obviously Philly. So yeah, there's a chance we come out of this with a great record, but the record doesn't mean shit if we're not beating our division opponents. So
exactly. And this game matters, as we've seen. You know, Taylor Heineke, who happens to drink Busch Light, went into the city with brotherly love and knocked off the Eagle. You know, the undefeated Eagles that was fly, Eagles fly. You know, Taylor Heineke went in there with a 6-pack of Busch Light and clipped the wings. Thank goodness. So this makes this NFC East matchup that more interesting, especially as Philly's strength of schedule roots up. It couldn't look any better for the Dallas Cowboys as we got these home games on the stand and handling business here. First thing first, like you said, against New York, especially coming out in this first quarter. Micah, where you at, baby?
Yeah, it's a bit worrisome. Not so much the knee as I saw that ankle that got rolled on. So he's a little banged up. I know that there's a bug going around the locker room right now. A couple people, including Tank, had an illness. Everywhere. Yeah, like it's all over the place.
It's my house. Like I'm the only one being, you know, safe. You know what I mean? I know it's going around, baby.
Oh, I can't play with that, man. I don't want to miss work. But yeah, I think there's a couple factors that have me a little apprehensive to go balls out, all out. That the Cowboys are going to win today by 41 points. But at the same time, I think we should at least beat them by 2 touchdowns. So, you know, I'm going to probably say I'd say, damn, I don't know, 34-7 is what I'll predict. Cowboys.
I like it, 34-7. I'm going to say 31-14. I'm being nice. I mean, I think we're going to hold them under 2 scores, but I think that'll be garbage time points, if you know what I mean, because I hope to see another Cooper Rush sighting. I love the way Cooper Rush just gave them Vikings fans some PTSD at the end of the game just 4 or 5 days ago.
Yeah, and real quick, I want to mention something about that too. And it hasn't happened in so long that I don't know if this is even worth mentioning. But for you folks out there who have DirecTV, if you are watching that game somewhere and you wind up trying to switch to DirecTV and they switched over and they had it blacked out, if you just wait a few minutes, normally they'll go back to it. But I mean, it's been so long since we've whipped somebody so bad that they decided to go to another team. The Cowboys, their ratings monster, they cut away from. Which leads the question, would they cut away if we were losing that bad? I don't know.
They damn sure wouldn't. I mean, I even added CBS here on the timeline and gave them shit, and it was a whole bunch of other fans felt the same way. I had to get out my burner phone and get on the Dofu Sports app. So shout out to Mike Rock. Shout out to Mike Rock, the supporter here. If you don't have a way to watch the game today on Turkey Day and you got a phone and Wi-Fi or your internet or whatever, download the Dofu Sports app. Go check it out over there. It's free. You're going to have to skip around a few times between some different shows, pick some different options. It's going to be a little painful, but nonetheless, you get to keep up. That's what I had to do because CBS cut us off. I was mad too as well, but I understood. And I was just thinking, damn, that's a good thing. Those are the good kind of problems to have as the Dallas Cowboys when you're getting cut off because it's not a competitive game.
Yeah, I probably have a ADD or something like that when I know that my 70% of my recording of that game is going to be the game and the rest is going to be something else. That just pisses me off. But you just go to YouTube and watch the condensed version of it anyway. You get the good stuff.
Yep. So as we wrap up here, we're going to circle back around. We talk about the keys to winning, stopping the damn run. The Dallas Cowboys need to hold the New York Giants under 100 rushing yards, just like we did that Cook who couldn't cook last week with the Vikings. Can we hold off Saquon today and Danny Dimes? A lot of folks say, who's Danny Dimes? I don't know. Some dude named Bart who thought Danny Dimes, which is this quarterback for the New York Giants, was a better athlete than Dak Prescott. I mean, this guy actually said this on national TV. But you catch my drift here as we talk about this NFC East matchup. Everybody's throwing their predictions up in there. I think they look pretty same. A lot of 30s in there. Sam says 38-10. Aaron's tapping in, says 31-10. Kelly's got 35-10. Oh, I'm being nice with 14 there. Michael Elliott says 38-17. So, yeah, check out the Dofu Sports app. Shout out to Mike Rock. And yes, Mara, we were pissed off as we get ready to wrap up here today. We covered the keys, the discipline. We just need to knock them out early. Don't even worry about what happened like last Thanksgiving. God, that Raiders game, man. As I talk about PTSD, Vikings fans, I just triggered my Raiders PTSD from last Thanksgiving, let alone,
Today's a scary situation too, man. Look, it's always tough when you're in a high profile game playing a team who just took a big loss. It's just because most people don't lose back to back in the NFL. It just doesn't work that way. It's a good league. So that's why today's going to be a lot more competitive. And I think folks are showing us right now 10 points, 17 points, giving a little bit more respect than what we think the Vikings definitely could have produced, but they didn't. So
I gave the Vikings at least 2 touchdowns too. I thought maybe that number one receiver might get lucky, because the gambler, but man, Diggs shut him down again for 2 weeks in a row. And definitely, there's not much pass game here. The defense, hopefully we can pick off Danny Dimes, because I know this defense is going to be hungry to shut down some dimes. They're going to be dropping some dimes in that backfield. I know that's for sure. Party at the quarterback, especially with this defense. But y'all make sure and tap in with us on the halftime and the post-game show. We gave you our pregame keys to the game here, the pregame show keys to the game. And what's on the menu out there? You got some turkey on the menu?
I'm just doing it old school, man. I do it every year, turkey stuffing. We got the mashed potatoes. We got some cornbread situation happening. And I think I'm going to fry up some shrimp too for me and my brother. And then we also got a big charcuterie board up there with a bunch of stuff all over it and some smoked fish dip happening too. We got a lot of stuff up there, man. For way too much shit for 4 people, man.
I feel you, baby. I got some, we frying a different bird here. Shout out to my man, King Sharon. He was frying that turkey out there in the rain with that canopy. We frying some good old yard bird today. That's what we eating on, and some ham. So we bypass and we're going to try something different as we're 4-7 on Turkey Day. You got to change things up sometimes instead of getting the same result. That's that old definition of what?
Insanity. Hola, Maura. Yeah, I'm rocking the Thanksgiving, or not the Thanksgiving, but the throwback Michael Irvin. The spirit of Irvin is with us on Turkey Day. That's exactly what I'm going with. Like I said, I usually wear all year. I've been rocking Michael Parsons, but I just feel like the Thanksgiving push needs to come today from Michael Irvin, so that the team can just focus on getting a division win. So that's what I'm working with today. In my own mind, that is what's going to win the game.
Yep, we need to just make quick work of them, man. I need to be laughing and kikiing and ha-ha with y'all at halftime. Turn on your notifications, baby, and then make sure you turn on your notifications for the post game with Bob and BG. We appreciate y'all tapping in here, because we affiliated, baby.
Yes, sir.